Back for week 5 of the NFL season 2025. How you doing, my man?
Feeling good, my man. Hope you have a good easy fast today, buddy. It's not so easy, but we're almost there.
I did the half fast like I always do.
Oh,
but
okay.
Sitting in Temple for 3 hours was worth it. Felt good.
Repent, my man. Repent. I am a little under 2 hours away from stuffing my face with bagels and lox. Can't wait.
Wait, you didn't fast?
Yes, I did.
You went to work today?
Yeah, but I fasted. I didn't eat.
Why?
I don't know. I wanted to see if I could do it.
How you feeling?
I wanted to see if I could do it. I had just water all day. Feels great.
An Italian fasting in Long Island, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a big round of applause.
I mean, hey, someone's got to do it for the other side.
Great. Well, you know what? We got a lot to talk about in a short period of time because you have to be at a break fast at 5:30 and you have to sign off no later than an hour from now. So let's jump right in and start.
Should be good. We got 4 buys this week, so we should be all right.
Okay. Yeah. And lots of stuff. Happy to announce that I believe our data issues at wantomakeabet.com had resolved. We had a little duplicating lines issue. We weren't getting scores in a timely manner last week, and I mentioned that we were having some issues. So unfortunately, the good thing is everybody got their bets in and there were no problems. But we were able to resolve that on Tuesday of this week. So looking forward to once again having no issues whatsoever. And we're starting it all off tonight with the first game on the card, which happens to be a NFC
San Fran
West
at the Rams
battle. That's right. This line has really gone wild, and I want to make sure that we cover injuries really well as best we can this week. So I have good data from RotoWire, which has basically every team by position nicely laid out on the page. But either way, this line, basically the first time we got it, it was 5.5, and that was a while ago. That was on the 30th, but now we're up to 8.5, and total is 44.5. What are your thoughts on this game?
I don't think San Fran has a lot of guys playing. Jennings is out. Purdy's obviously out. I think they're banged up. We know about their record missing Bosa. They lost last week to Jacksonville. We were dead wrong about that game. That was a surprise to me. They're now 6-13 straight up without Nick Bosa on the field when they play. And it's going to be Mac Jones and a lot of backups. I think that's why the line is 8.5. I would take the Rams down in a Wong teaser. They've been so good to me this year, and anyone that's been following me on those has done fairly well. I would say 10-1 is a pretty good record on Wongs, and I would take the Rams minus 2.5. The one thing here, Shanahan does have actually a very good record against McVay. Somehow on the road, he's 5-1 against the spread against McVay on the road, although the Rams have won 3 straight games in this rivalry against them. So tough to lay 8.5. I understand the Rams are playing great football. They're a really, really good team, and they're getting a wounded San Fran team tonight coming in. But 8.5 seems like a big number to me. Tough to trust San Fran with the backups here with that kind of number. But Rams minus 2.5 is something I would be very interested in.
Yeah, I like that play. And I agree. I think I agree with everything that you said. Those are good data points. I just feel like this is too many points. It's a division game. These coaches know each other really well. Always close. And I get it. Purdy's out. And also Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall appear both to be out. Watkins is out, right? So we got
they have no players.
A battered team coming in the offensive line.
They have no players, Jack, tonight. So I would say, I don't know. I don't think it'll get a lot of play. Maybe it will late as a survivor play for a lot of people based on the injuries to San Fran, but still a division game. Shanahan's a good coach. I don't know. It's a skip for me at 8.5.
Yeah, too many points for me. If anything, I would take I would just on getting 8.5 game where these two coaches know each other. I got to figure San Francisco can find a way to stay inside that number, but I'm also staying away. But if you forced me to do it, I would take the 49ers.
You would.
All right, let's move back to Let's move to Sunday, shall we?
Yeah, one little note I will say, and I think I brought this up last week. I think it's important and it's relevant for tonight. This year, NFL closing favorites of 6 points or more are 16-2-1 straight up on the season. So it's been a really good place for large favorites to win these games, not necessarily against the spread, but straight up. It's actually the fewest outright losses by a 6-point favorite through 4 games since 1979.
Wow. Okay.
Pretty interesting.
Let's go to London, I believe, where the Cleveland Browns will be traveling to play the Minnesota Vikings, who stayed there after losing to the Steelers. Well, actually, a quick trip over from Ireland, but they're in the United Kingdom, haven't left, and that usually bodes well. I wonder if you have data on the teams that stay for 2 weeks and their records. Cleveland traveling. Made the decision to bench Joe Flacco this week. Dylan Gabriel is going to get the start. I thought it was really interesting that the market didn't even blink and just collectively shrugged when that happened. The line didn't move at all. 3.5 hasn't changed all week long. I know what you think about this game, but the thing that sort of is attractive to me would be the under, even though it's the lowest one of the week at 36. Is that I just feel like with Carson Wentz at quarterback, Cleveland I have as the number 2 ranked defense based on DVOA. I think I have Minnesota at number 7. So you got Dylan Gabriel coming in for his first start as a rookie. I know, Kevin Stefanski is probably going to have a script that is like ultra conservative. We're going to just try to run the ball. There'll be a lot of punting for Cleveland and just trying to play field position and play defense. And I actually think, Kevin O'Connell is going to do the same thing for Minnesota and try to, because our defense is so good, do pretty much the exact same thing for Minnesota. I just see this like really, really low scoring game, waiting for one of these quarterbacks to make a mistake. And, 10 final by one of these teams. I can't imagine the Browns are going to score more than 10 or 13 points. And I honestly don't think the Vikings are going to score maybe a little bit more than that, maybe something between 10 and 20. So I like the under in this game. And I don't think Cleveland, I don't think the Browns are going to win this game. Can they stay inside this number? Maybe, but I would hate to be Dylan Gabriel and have my first start, in a foreign country against this defense. I just can't imagine it's going to go well for us. What do you think?
Well, I got to say, the closing line value on the total is horrible. I mean, the look-ahead number was 41.5. You're locking in 36.5 on the under. That's significant. I don't know. Maybe it's because of rookie quarterbacks playing against that defense, like you mentioned. The data on the other stuff, like you were saying, I think it's the third time a team will play consecutive overseas games. The Jaguars did it in 2023 and 24. And in the second game in that spot, they were 2-0 straight up and against the spread. So I guess that's a significant advantage for them staying there. But an interesting thing, I think, about this was Carson Wentz has led 2 offenses against Stefanski basically twice in his career. He's 0-2 straight up and against the spread, and he scored 27 combined points in those games. I wanted to ask you, are the tackles back for Cleveland? The offensive tackles? Because I think that's really significant.
No, I mean, we have, without a doubt, we've got basically, DeJuan Jones, who I never thought was very good at left tackle, is on IR. So now we have Cam Robinson, who basically we picked up this
came
week
from Jacksonville.
Houston.
No, Jacksonville, Houston. Yeah, he could play, but yeah, I get it. No, so he's not a starter. He's not a starter.
No, he wasn't. He was terrible on Houston. You kidding me?
Yeah.
They swapped late round picks in 2027 to facilitate the trade. But yeah, I mean, he's not good.
So you're still banged up on the offensive line. The reason I bring it up is as a data point here, I think is relevant. The Browns are 0-13.
Conklin's questionable, by the way. Sorry.
The Browns are 0-13 straight up when they allow 3 sacks or more in a game.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a rookie quarterback, you got a banged up offensive line. The only other thing is, I think there's a good data point. Like when Stefanski gets blown out, the following week he's 10-3-1 against the spread as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's pretty interesting. And you're getting a hook here. So, I mean, in a low scoring game and you're getting 3.5, I'd be inclined to take Cleveland.
How many of those games did he have a backup quarterback?
Yeah, I don't know the number on that.
Yeah.
The interesting, Dillon Gabriel will be the 41st different starting quarterback the Browns have had since 1999.
Is that right?
41 quarterbacks. It's unreal. It's almost defies logic. But again, this game, if I had to take it, I would take the 3.5 with the Browns. I think the defense is really good. Number 1 in the league against the run. I don't think Jordan Mason's going to be able to do much. But again, they do have Jefferson. I'm not a huge fan of Wentz. He made a couple mistakes last week against the Steeler defense. And I think the Browns defense is a little bit better. So, I mean, if Gabriel can move the ball, I know you lost the I actually picked up your receiver this week in one of my fantasy leagues because you put the kid on IR, your leading receiver. So what's this kid's name? Boyd? Or I don't even know his name. I picked up
Isaiah Bond.
Yeah, Bond. Yeah, I picked him up.
Picked up?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be really good in this offense.
Wait, did you pick him up in our league?
I didn't. Not in our league. I had to make other moves.
I think you're talking about Tillman. Right.
Right.
Who went
Tillman's
on
IR. So I picked up Bond. They're saying good things about this kid, Bond. I think he's a rookie.
I had Cedric Tillman on my fantasy team, and I dropped him and picked up what's his face on Miami.
Oh, I saw that. Washington. Yeah. You should pick up this kid, Bond, Jack. And you know what? Gabriel to Bond could be good.
No, the guy from the Giants.
Oh, Darius Slayton.
Wan'Dale
Robinson, Darius Slayton, doesn't matter. The point is, we're talking
Darren
about handicapping.
Waller.
He's a tight end. He's not a receiver. He's a tight end. That's what
I know. I said the tight end.
Yeah.
All right. You like the Browns? I don't.
Yeah, I do.
Let's move on.
I like the Browns.
Okay. Baltimore is hosting Houston. They are completely devastated by injuries and everything else. They absolutely killed us last week. They took a winning. Oh, actually, we were 3-2 by the way in our picks. We didn't start the show off by congratulating ourselves, which we're
9-11 on the season.
And we do that when we lose. But we actually had a winning week. All we needed was what we thought was our best play of the week in Baltimore to get there, and they got their doors blown off. And now Lamar's hurt. They lost Roquan Smith. They also lost Humphrey. They also lost. They have like a cluster injury on defense.
Hamilton didn't practice.
Right. Let me check his status. But I don't know. What do you
think
of this game?
Play or not? Is Lamar playing? All that matters is if Lamar
doubtful. I mean, it's Thursday, so it's like we'll see Friday where they have to declare, right?
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I don't know. The line is only 1.5 or something, isn't it? What's the line?
1.
The line is 1.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing today. Your production over there. Your production is not going well over there. Your microphone is bad. Your visual is not good. It's a mess.
I just moved out of the dining room because there's some soft spots in there. So I'm now right next to the router. It should be good.
Okay. Well, I'll say this. I mean, the Ravens basically, every game they've played has gone over the total. Every game the Texans have played has gone under the total. So something's got to give, as they say. Lamar Jackson has faced the Texans 5 times in his career. He's never lost. So if he's going to play, despite everyone banged up, I would take Baltimore at home if Lamar's playing. If he's not playing, I would
Okay.
not. Yeah, I'm not super impressed with Houston's offense at all. Um, Houston's never won in Baltimore. They're 0-8 in the history of their franchise. So I know they're getting a banged up team, but I also know Harbaugh is a good enough coach at home to find a way to beat a team that has no offense like Houston.
Well,
So
let's handicap it this way. Um, let's say Cooper Rush starts the game, and Roquan's out, Humphrey's out, all these guys on defense out.
right.
Would you take Houston? Do you think Houston, did they show you enough last week against Tennessee that they could come in here and shut these guys? I mean, this was this was a defense that was playing terrible,
Yes.
like against the Chiefs. And before that, they did not play well even before all these guys got hurt. Do you think that Houston can come in here as a pick 'em or a 1 point favorite, 1 point dog, and win this football game?
Obviously,
I do.
Vegas does.
Huh?
I think obviously Vegas does. I mean, look at the line, but I just don't trust Stroud. I don't think the offense is any good. I know Baltimore's banged up, but there's still a home game. Houston's never had success there. I just would be, I mean, there's got to be better games we could focus on than Houston on the road laying points.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Let's move on to the next game is Miami at Carolina. Started off as Carolina 1 point favorite, flipped, crossed over. Miami's a 1 point favorite. Man, Carolina's like our little darling this season. And I got to say, I like them in this game. I think that Miami being a favorite here doesn't make any sense to me, just because they beat the Jets, who look absolutely horrible last week. I think Carolina at home's good proposition. If they can repeat the way that they played against Atlanta, I see this as like a favorable outcome for them and them getting their second win. Miami hasn't shown me anything, especially losing Tyreek Hill for the season, their number one receiver. Like what, how are they going to beat these guys?
Well, I think the way they're going to beat him is, Tua really struggles when he's pressured. Carolina has 2 sacks in 4 games. That's the lowest sack total in the NFL. I think Tua is going to be able to stand in there. I think the backup receiver and the emergence of Waller, like you mentioned, is going to be very big. Carolina in these games, and I know they've been good against the spread so far, except for last week they got blown out. But I think Miami is a little bit, I don't want to say undervalued, but I think Miami's a better team than their record would indicate. And I'm just not sure that Carolina is really a good team. I mean, I know the rookie wide receiver, I like him a lot. He has been kind of quiet. Obviously, I think Hubbard's going to be able to run the ball this week. I don't think Miami's defense is very good, but I would think Tua, he does do well in his career against bad teams. That's one stat that I think matters here because Carolina, I think, is a bad team. So if I had to do it, I think I would take Miami just based on the pedigree and the division they're in. I think Carolina plays in the weakest division in football, and they haven't been very good. I think they're 1-3. I know they're 3-1 against the spread, but they're not getting enough points here where it would make sense to take them, I don't think.
Okay. I mean, this is an ugly game. We're not going to be having it in our top 5, but just
Totally.
a note, I think Chuba Hubbard, by the way, didn't practice today. He's banged up.
Really?
I did pick up Rico Dowdle in our fantasy league. I dropped, I forget who I dropped on Buffalo, who basically is not getting any touches, but yeah, I think it's a bit of an ugly game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we know you can run on Carolina. I mean, on Miami's defense is what I meant to say. You can run on Miami's defense, and they haven't been great on defense, completely all year. They give up a lot of points. But again, I guess if you really wanted to, you could take Carolina plus 7.5 at home in a teaser. Probably not the worst thing to do, but I can't imagine Tua losing this game to Bryce Young, even without Tyreek Hill.
Okay, let's move on. Raiders are at the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are obviously a hot team. They probably would have beat the Rams last week had they not fumbled the ball crossing the threshold. And, they continue to be impressive. I think I have them ranked, if I just look at this season, as the number one. Sorry, they're my 4th best team just on this weekend's data. Offense is 3rd. Defense is defensive rank is not great, 18th.
Mm.
And I just, when I look at this line, I just think of one thing, which is two things. One, it's too many. And the Raiders did every single thing possible last week to beat the Bears except win the game. And I blame that on Geno. He had 3 turnovers. If we get a bad Geno, they're going to get blown out. If Geno is competitive, this is going to be like a big Survivor upset, and they're going to cover easy.
What's the line?
7.
Is it that much?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought it was 3.5.
Yeah. I mean, may have started that way, but it's now 7. It's been 7. It's I just think this is way too many points. And, I know Geno, if he has 3 turnovers, it's going to get ugly like it, but they're not as bad as Tennessee. I think they're right in this game.
I'm with you on that. I like the Raiders plus the 7. There's a number of things on the data that would support that for sure. The Colts obviously were the best team in the league in terms of taking care of the ball till last week when they played the Rams. And obviously that moron, young receiver, had a touchdown and freaking celebrated and fumbled the ball out of the end zone. If you saw that, I mean, that's why the Colts lost. That's why the Colts lost that game. I mean, that guy should be obviously benched. I mean, I don't know how you can allow that to happen. And they did it last year. Jonathan Taylor on the same team did the same dumb thing. I don't understand why these guys are so fucking dumb, but they do it. And it's so awful for gamblers, for fans, for anyone. It's like, just go in the end zone, hand the ball to the guy like Walter Payton. Stop being an idiot. Anyway, it cost his team the game, and they had 2 other fumbles in that game, so they did turn it over. They had a lot of penalties.
What's crazy about that? Real quick side note on that. Yeah. Last year, I had a bet on the Colts when they did that, and they did that to me.
Yeah.
And this year, I had a bet on the Rams.
And it came back to you.
It came back to me, and I thought about it. I was like, the Colts screwed me on the exact same play last year with Jonathan Taylor, and this year they gave it right back to me.
That's so great. As they
just
say,
like I said last week, the gambling gods giveth, and the gambling gods taketh away.
They taketh away, and it all comes out in the wash sometimes. They come down in the wash. Meanwhile, let me just get back to my point. The Colts had 11 penalties last week also. They're not playing like they had their worst game of the year.
Yeah.
They fumbled. They turned it over 3 times. They had 11 penalties against. Geno Smith, basically on 2 road starts, he's only thrown 1 interception. He's been way worse at home with the picks, which bodes well for us getting 7 with Geno. So he doesn't play his worst football so far on the road. The other data point I would say is these teams that are undefeated and then they lose a game, the following week, they only cover the spread 35% of the time. So I'm with you. I like the Raiders plus the 7.
Okay. It'll be interesting. This may end up being our anti-survivor play of the week. Also Pittman and Pierce, both questionable. I just think like
Pittman didn't practice today. That's a big loss for them.
Yeah. In terms of the like mean regression stuff, like if you look at the overall ranking of, factoring in the preseason rankings of the Colts, they're only ranked. Come on, where's Indy? 15th. So like they're obviously doing very well so far if you just look at this season's data, but if you factor in preseason rankings and like where they should have been, like I think there could be a lot of mean regression still coming in their future. But I don't know. We'll see, but it's good to see that we both sort of are favoring the Raiders here, even though it's a bit of an ugly pick, but we may be forced into it on the anti-survivor strategy.
What's interesting also for us, for old people like us, when I say old, like in their 50s that have been watching football their whole lives, this matchup it was the genesis of the Dave Casper fumble where he pushed it ahead and fell on it in the end zone. That was a big play against Burt Jones and the Colts back in the day. I think it was the AFC Championship game.
Okay.
Or the game before that. And Dave Casper for the Raiders caught a ball. I believe it was like at the 10-yard line, and he got stripped and fumbled it. And he just kept pushing it and pushing it, kicked it into the end zone and fell on it. And that's why you're no longer allowed to advance a fumble.
That's funny.
From that play.
Well, isn't that only inside of 2 minutes or something? Or are you just not allowed to do that?
But that was the matchup. I think the genesis of that whole thing was Dave Casper and that matchup with the Colts. So Raiders, Colts. There's a lot of history there. Ken Stabler, Burt Jones. Some interesting stuff. But
that was old school. But that was the Baltimore Colts.
Yes, correct. Exactly. 100%.
All right, let's move on. What an ugly game. Giants Saints. Jesus, what a terrible game. I have no interest in this. Although the line did jump to Saints -2.5. If it gets to 3, I might be interested in the Giants, but man, they lost Neighbors. Got Jackson Dart. I mean, I think the Saints are going to win this game. We've been betting on them and taking them sometimes on the anti-survivor in Seattle. We did, but they got blown out. But I just think they're so due to win a game, and the Giants haven't showed me anything to make me think that. Are the Giants 0-4? By the way, oh no, they won last week.
The Giants won. They beat the Chargers at home, but they lost their best player. Obviously, Neighbors is out for the year, so that's why we were talking about Darius Slayton and scrambling to pick up some of these guys off of the waiver wire in fantasy. But I like this kid Jackson Dart a lot. I think the Saints are a doormat team. I'm not a huge fan. Rattler has not won a game yet in the NFL. I believe he's 0-10 now or 0-9, one or the other. I think he's 0-10. And I'm going to believe in this kid Dart. And if I'm getting 2.5, I'm going to put him in a teaser plus 8.5. And I'll feel really comfortable about doing that with Dart.
Okay. I really like the Saints in this game. I'm less comfortable suddenly laying 2.5 when I thought it was, line was 1, but jumped up. But I think the Saints get their first win this week. And I'm not with you on Giants, but I probably like Giants in a teaser. But I think Jackson Dart's in for trouble down there in New Orleans. All right, let's move on to what else? We got the New York team, Dallas Cowboys traveling to the Jets. Dallas is laying 2.5 on the road. I have to say, I got so lucky in that Jet game. I live bet them. Remember in our text string, I live bet them getting 6.5, and they came back and scored and went for 2 and got it and lost the game by 6. But I was so disappointed in the Jets from a purely operational standpoint. They did not, they can't run an offense. Nope. Justin Fields, the coaching, pre-snap penalties, egregious, shit, personal fouls, just so undisciplined. They look absolutely awful as a team.
Yeah, I mean, I was at the Revivalist show that night, but I did see a lot of the highlights, and obviously I read up on the stats after the game. So 14 penalties against the Jets, 12 accepted.
Was it really 14?
14 penalties assessed, 12 accepted for over 100 yards. Obviously, you had the turnovers. The first drive I thought by the Jets was outstanding. I did watch that drive, and Braylon Allen unfortunately got the ball stripped as he was diving into the end zone with a tremendous defensive play by the Miami defender, which cost the Jets an early lead. And these type of things seem to happen to the Jets. They're just a bad luck organization. I mean, I understand that Aaron Glenn has came in here and said, the same old Jets thing. I don't even know what that is, but they may even be worse than the same old Jets, because the Jets, at least in the past, you didn't have these undisciplined type of dumb penalties. I don't know what they're doing having Braylon Allen return kicks. He blew out his knee as a kick returner for some reason. It made no sense to me. I don't know why you put your number 2 running back in that position to get hurt when you have a guy like the third running back could have done it. I just don't get some of the things they're doing, but I think Fields has been pretty good. I mean, he hasn't thrown an interception this year. He's got 5 touchdowns. He's passed for almost 700 yards. I don't really think Fields is the issue. He had a running touchdown the other night, which I thought was impressive. So, the bottom line is there's a lot of weird stuff going on with the Jets. I don't know anything it has to do with Justin Fields, which is kind of ironic. I thought everyone was wondering whether this guy was going to be the guy or not, but there's so many other problems. Yeah.
He's not playing great though. He had that bad fumble in that game against Miami. I don't think he's looked that great. Do you think he's looked good? You're saying he's playing well and no one else is?
I just think the stats, the guy, he can run the ball in the end zone. He has 2 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns, no interceptions. I understand he fumbled the ball. But he threw that, Garrett Wilson got called for an offensive PI, which I thought was a joke.
Horrible.
That's a horrible call. Changed the whole outcome of the game. So the Jets did cover for me in that Wong teaser plus 8.5, because they did make the 2-point conversion. Here's the thing about this game. Prescott has been really good against bad teams. He's also been really good at MetLife. He's 6-1 in 7 games at MetLife. Obviously, most of them are against the Giants, obviously.
Yeah.
They're 6-1 and against the spread as a road favorite when they play a night game the previous week. So they're in a good spot from that standpoint. This is tough. What is the line in this game? 3.5?
It's 2.5.
Yeah, it's 2.5. Yeah, I'd be inclined to take the Jets again plus 8.5. I don't. The Cowboys defense is horrible. I mean, the Cowboys defense, they can't stop anybody. So they're going to give
swore
up.
To myself,
they're going to give up over 30 points again in this game.
I promised myself during that game and after I won that bet that I will not bet on them again this year unless I see something really impressive.
Right.
There's nothing more frustrating than betting on a team that can't get the operation right, like can't come to the line of scrimmage and snap the ball. Do you know? You know how hard it is to score and win a game in this league without having to worry, even without, like you have to check that box that you can just effectively snap the ball, and they can't do that.
I get it,
but I cannot bet on them. And on the flip side, like I like Dallas in this game because Dak looked like an MVP quarterback in that game against. Of course, I was on the other side of that game against who was it? They played last week, the Rams.
Dog shit. I mean, their defense didn't show up.
No, I know, but how good did he look?
Yeah,
he was throwing beautiful balls, no interceptions.
Yep.
He looked fantastic. Game. I mean, CeeDee Lamb was out, and so it was just like, well, what are they going to do? Pickens looked incredible.
Pickens looked elite.
They looked amazing.
Reed, elite.
Yeah. I like Dallas in this one.
Yeah, they've struggled a little bit on the road, like in these spots. Dak, he doesn't do great. He's 10 of his 13 games have been losses in these spots where he's a favorite on the road like this. But again, MetLife's been good to him. But those are against the Giants. I'll tell you, I'm going to take the Jets with the 8.5 in that teaser again. And Dallas cannot stop anybody. And the Jets could have had 5 touchdowns against Miami. They fumbled on the one. They had the bad PI call. That was a touchdown. And they scored 3 touchdowns. So despite all this stuff about not being able to snap the ball and all this 14 penalties and shit, they still should have won the game.
Oh, I know. Actually, I forget what the numbers I saw that at some point this week, like statistically, the Jets have been like, outperforming their opponents but they can't get the operation right. So anyway, all right, we disagree on this one. I really like Dallas. Let's move on to, man, all the good games are on the late card this week. All right, Tennessee at Arizona is going to be a huge survivor play this week. Arizona's laying 7.5. That doesn't feel like too many for me. Tennessee is the worst team in the league. They didn't score last week. They're doing really stupid stuff. I see no reason why that would change. I know that Arizona lost their running back, didn't they?
Yep. They're on their 3rd string running back.
Benson's out.
Yeah, DeMercado. They put Benson on the IR. He's out 4 weeks. 10 days rest, extended rest for Arizona. Had the tough loss to Seattle at home on Thursday Night Football. They finally got the ball to Marvin Harrison in the second half of that game, and I think that's huge. I think it's going to be huge, that confidence builder for them. There's no worse team in the league. We've talked about this against the spread than the Titans. They are woefully bad. They're among the worst teams maybe in the history of the league. They're 2-15 against the spread in their last 17 games, 3-18 in their last 21. I like Arizona.
Yeah. It's going to be, what's crazy, Cello, is that we may be on Tennessee this week if Arizona's a number 1, survivor play.
It's
but
possible, and we have to stick to that formula. That formula has been good to us, 3-1 this year so far. So if that's the way it is, it's the way it is. But if I'm betting it, I would bet Arizona, and I'm certainly going to put Arizona in a teaser and get that under that 3 number to get it to 1.5. I think that's an absolute lock.
Yeah, the good thing is that on the survivor side of things, this is not the first time people have either looked at or taken Arizona. You know what I mean? Like there's been several bites on the apple with those guys, and if you still have them left,
Mm,
then this is a definite. But I think it's going to either be this one or the Colts. But
yeah,
I don't see any reason why they wouldn't win this game. And if you're looking for a teaser leg, like you like some, would this fit the Wong criteria?
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as the total's under 49, I take Arizona down. I might even put them with the Rams tonight. 2.5 Rams, 1.5 Cardinals, both at home. I like that play.
Did you say that you're getting charged extra juice by the books on the Wong?
I think 130 is what these guys are up to now at FanDuel and stuff. Yeah,
Wow. So they know.
they do. Yeah, they know
Wow.
the math, man. Stanford Wong, guy was genius. Sick.
Anyway, someone's betting on Tennessee because this was 9.5 originally. I don't know. Maybe just the market felt like that's too many.
Well,
but,
Kyler's only 9-14 against the spread as a favorite. So, I mean, we know that he does better against the spread as an underdog.
yeah.
And certainly this is not an NFC West game because he's been dreadful in those games. We talked about it last week. So I think this is a chance for Arizona to get right against the bad team at home. And I would take it if, I'd like it.
Okay. We skipped a game, which let's hit it now. It's Denver at Philadelphia. And market was 4 when it first came out. People were betting Denver. I think there's a general sentiment. I've been listening to a lot of the gambling media throughout the week, and it seems like everybody really likes Denver in this game. I kind of agree. I feel like Philadelphia.
I'm seeing 4.5 on FanDuel. You're saying the line went down?
Yeah, well, we have 3.5 at wantomakeabet.com, and pretty much it's not 4 anymore.
Wow, it's 4.5 right now live at FanDuel. So if you like Denver, go over there and bet them.
Wow. My point is, I think what the market feels about this game, and I happen to agree with it. It is coming down, is that the Eagles are a bit of a smoke and mirror show, and despite being 4-0, I believe they've been outgained. So they who they remind me of? Do you remember the Vikings last year were doing this?
Yeah.
Where they were undefeated and they were like, weren't they like 7 or 8-0 and they were being outgained? And it kind of reminds me of that. Once again, last week, I wouldn't say they dominated Tampa. They had the block punt. And they had the fumble recovery, and then of course
the interception by Baker on the last drive in the end zone on first down. All he had to do was throw it away. So that killed us. I mean, I got squashed in so many bets because Tampa didn't cover that game. It was unfortunate time. One time I can remember where Baker didn't come through for me. But I kind of see what you're saying about Philly. Like they win in unimpressive fashion, but they do win. Yeah. And they are the Super Bowl champions. They didn't complete a pass in the second half of that game last week. I don't know if you knew that. It's like AJ Brown basically said, "Hey, I don't even know why I'm on this team. Like you threw it to me twice for 7 yards. You don't throw me the ball." There was rumors rumbling around that he wants to be traded. Yeah. And I'll tell you this, as a Steeler fan, I'll give him. I mean, I don't know what Omar Khan would do, but I would give him a first or a second round pick for AJ Brown tomorrow.
Yeah. Anyway, that's another reason. You got like a disgruntled number 1 receiver. You have kind of like this smoke and mirror show, and I don't know. I like Denver in this game. I hate betting against Philly like we did last week, but I really feel like, Denver, Bo Nix played great last week. The defense is obviously top notch. It's a top 3 or 4 defense in the league. And I would take Denver if you're on board with that, getting the 3.5 in the contest.
It's so hard to bet against Philly. Like they're just so good.
I know.
Bo Nix as an underdog is only 4-6 against the spread, losing his last 4 starts straight up and against the spread. So he's on a pretty nasty streak there. When he's an underdog, especially on the road. The Eagles are 28-3 straight up as a favorite at home. The Eagles only struggle when they're straight up at home when they're underdogs, which is rare. They're 1-6 in that spot, but I think it's very, very hard to bet against the Eagles. And I understand. Here's a stat I thought's interesting. The last 9 games after posting 130 passing yards or less, the Eagles are 9-0 straight up, and they win by 14 points in those games.
Wow.
I mean, I guess if you can get 4.5 with Denver, maybe you throw them in a teaser plus 10.5. But if I had to, I like the Eagles. I know they're unimpressive, but I don't love Denver in this spot. Denver's kind of let me down a couple times this year. That game at the Colts, I know they could have won it, and they had the leverage penalty at the end there. They just haven't looked crisp to me, Denver. But and Philly is, a different animal. The one thing with Philly is that their defense hasn't been as good. Like they only have 5 sacks this year through 4 games, which if for Philly, I think is a low number. I mean, weren't they? I mean, I think Philly was used to getting like 3-4 sacks a game, last year. So maybe the
Yeah, I mean,
defense is a little weaker.
I have their defense ranked 14th and their offense ranked 17th. I mean,
Yeah, you see that how the
they're the
defense
only
has come
4-0
down.
team. They're a team that's 4-0 is surrounded by teams that are 2-2, right around and above and below them on the chart.
Yeah, and Saquon's been kind of quiet, so I don't know about this one. This game is probably a skip for me.
Okay.
I can't jump on board Denver with enthusiasm the way you
Well, let's
want
see
me
what
to.
we can come up with as our top 5. But I have my eye on Denver for this one. I'd
Okay.
be willing to. I know it hurt that we went against Philly last week with Tampa, but I really feel like it came down to those 2 turnovers in the special teams play.
Punt block for a touchdown in the first series, and then the late turnover by Baker.
Yep. And speaking of Baker, we got the Bucks traveling to Seattle. They're getting 3.5. They're a bit banged up in this game, and I don't know. I'd love to hear your data points on this because I'm leaning Seattle here. What do you think?
I like Tampa with the 3.5, especially
Really?
the hook. Yeah, I do.
Why?
There's a lot of things. Number one, the Arizona hangover. Seattle, for some reason, after they beat Arizona, like the next following game, they're only 3-7 against the spread for some reason. I don't know what that is. I just think it's a weird thing. And I just think at home they're not as good. I mean, under this coach, they're only 3-8 against the spread at home. This guy's great on the road. This new coach, what's his name? Callahan? Mike McDonald. So he has them playing great. They're very good on the road. But at home, they're 4-7 straight up, 3-8 against the spread. I don't know. And it's Baker. I like the 3.5. I don't know.
I hate it. I hate it, Chell. Baker
defense is good.
Baker's banged up. Bucky Irving might not play. Evans still out. Tristan Wirfs once again questionable. I'm shocked he played every down last week, but I still he's like on the verge of going out again. He's not healthy, and they have a lot of injuries deep. Jamel Dean, Benjamin Morrison, Tyler Smith, all the safeties and quarterbacks have questionable marks next to them. And it's a long way to travel. They just lost to Philly. I think they're coming back down to earth a little bit. Their previous, the wins that they have this season are not, not against impressive teams. And I don't know.
They're too banged up.
Yeah, too banged up, and with Evans out, last week it proved to me how important he is. I thought, we'll swap out Godwin for Evans, but there's only you can't get Evans if he's not there, and if he's not there,
Godwin had a couple big drops last week too. I thought he had 2 balls in his hands he should have caught. I mean, maybe just a little rust. Igbuka was fine, right? He made some plays.
Great.
He's a star, Igbuka. Yeah, I guess I don't know. Listen, I guess Vegas is trying to goat you into taking Tampa Bay with the 3.5, right? I mean,
well, let's see where it ends up. But at this number, exactly. It's sort of like I'm not gonna take the bait. I actually like Seattle.
Yeah, I'll say this: Sam Darnold has been impressive with the Vikings and the Seahawks. He is 11-4-1 against the spread after a straight up win. So he's been good, consecutive games. I know they have a very good defense. I like the running backs. They got Charbonnet, who's getting the end zone carries now. They always seem to have these no-name white tight ends that score touchdowns every week. And you're like, who's that? Right? Yeah. I mean, Seattle. It's you never know who these guys are. And obviously they have JSN, who's unguardable in the slot. So maybe you're right. If Tampa's really banged up, let's look at the injuries and see. Obviously, if Baker's banged up, I mean, that's bad.
He's going to play. That's like a bicep.
I'm not really worried about Bucky Irving. They have Rashad White. They even have Sean Tucker if they need to go to him. Like, they have depth at running back. I'm not so concerned about it.
Mhm.
But if it's 3.5, I could see Seattle winning this game by 3. I could also see them losing the game outright. They haven't been good at home under this coach. They're 3-8 against the spread with this guy, and they're 4-7 at home. So that Seattle advantage at home that you think they have, they do not have under this coach.
Yeah. Okay, those are good points. Let's watch those injuries closely, like we are for every one of these.
You have to. Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Chargers are hosting Washington. Chargers are laying 3 and 48. I think I just Washington's injury status. It's all, like, clearly last week we saw what happens if both Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin are out. It looks like Daniels is going to play this week, but McLaurin, Debo, and Noah Brown are all questionable.
Yeah.
On the Chargers side, they obviously laid an egg last week at MetLife Stadium, and I don't know what was going on there, but they got their left tackle, what's his name?
Joe Alt, their number one pick.
Doubtful.
Like one of the top players in the league at that position on PFF is out. So now they've lost Slater and they've lost Joe Alt. Their 2 best tackles are out.
Yeah, he had a high ankle sprain, and then his backup, this guy Becton, is also questionable. So you're looking at a third stringer. And, the question is does Washington have enough pass rush to make that matter? And if Jaden plays, and with McLaurin out and Debo questionable and Noah Brown out, I mean, I kind of like the Chargers in this spot. What do you think?
I think in a bounce back spot, despite the problem that they're going to have on the offensive line, and it is significant. I mean, Joe Alt, we can't say enough about how good the guy has been. I mean, he allowed 3 pressures basically in 142 pass plays this year. That's like 2% of the time. So he doesn't allow people to get to Herbert. The guy who came in for him and played half the game after he left allowed 6 pressures in the one game. That's twice as many as this guy allowed in 4 games. So it's significant if Washington can get pressure on Herbert and force things. But I do think Harbaugh, especially off a loss, like they're home, right? They're at home.
Yeah. By the way, quick side note that our friend Brad, he calls Herbert Abear.
Bobby Abear?
Yeah, Bobby Abear from the Saints in the 80s.
I remember him. That was incredible. Wasn't he on oh no, that was the other the
Saints.
But I was thinking of the Jim Mora thing, playoffs. But I think he was on the Colts. But he was on the Colts when he did that. Not he wasn't. I remember that. But Harbaugh, I think. Listen, as a favorite in his career, Herbert is 13-4 against the spread under Jim Harbaugh. And I know last week they were favored and they lost, but that includes that. So they were 13-3 against spread. I think they'll come back. And I think they'll have enough to beat Washington and cover the spread.
Yeah, me too. I think Washington just looks at this game as like a bit of a skip. Like, let's just get healthy. I know we got to go out to the West Coast, but we're an NFC team. This is an AFC team. And like, let's just not get hurt so that we can get ready for the following week. You know what I mean? I question the motivation on this one. There's big motivation for the Chargers to just get the foul taste of that loss to the Giants out of their mouth and get back on track. Yeah.
Somebody just texted me that Bucky Dent is throwing out the first pitch tonight at Yankee Stadium. That's the anniversary of his tremendous home run.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool. Unbelievable.
Good luck tonight.
Cool. Thank you, brother.
Big game.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the last afternoon game. Detroit Cincy. God, am I glad that I skipped that Cincinnati game. I mean, I said to myself, I will not bet on Browning, and I know a lot of people were so tempted to take them against Denver, but man, he should not be playing quarterback in this league. And now they're getting 10.5 at home from the Lions. They're going to get their doors blown off.
I love the Lions in this game.
Do you really? Lay this kind of number?
I can't. Cincinnati's so much worse than I thought they'd be. I mean, I thought Cincinnati would bounce back and that Browning would be better. Their offense is inept. Chase Brown can't get anything going. Jamar Chase, they can't even get the ball to him. Higgins is non-existent. I don't know what's going on with this guy Browning, but they were I thought they'd cover the 7.5. Boy, was I wrong. They
Mm.
did not show up to Denver. That's 2 weeks in a row they've been killed. I can't imagine how they're going to do going into Detroit the way Detroit plays. I mean, Detroit is on a streak of all streaks. I mean, they're 17-3 in their last 20 games, 14-5-1 against the spread. The Bengals have been horrible. They've been outscored 76-13. They've punted 14 times in 2 games, 2 fumbles. I mean, 3 fumbles, 2 interceptions. I mean, they're just not playing well. So I can't imagine how Detroit could put up a 50 on them.
Yeah.
I like Detroit.
They should consider. I think they should consider, if they're not already, benching Browning and putting in Brett Rippon, who's the number 3. I mean, he's that bad. And Detroit, I'm just looking at their injuries, like really nothing that meaningful. Okay, Taylor Decker, left tackle's questionable, so Hendrickson could get home, I guess, against Goff and apply some pressure. But
what's the total in this game?
It's 49.5. It's been going up. It came out 48.5.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I could see this game being 48-3.
I mean, the only thing that gives anyone pause in this game is, and I don't know if you have any data on this, is what kind of record do teams laying double digits on the road have in the NFL? I mean, it's got to be a very low winning percentage, right?
Well, I think early, like the thing I told you, like favorites of 6 or more points are 16-2-1 straight up against the spread. I don't have the data there.
Yeah, I mean, double digit. I'm pretty sure that's like an old school handicapping thing. Like double digit road favorites in the NFL just do not do well.
Yeah, I guess historically they probably don't. I just can't imagine. And I think it's going to be pretty somber in Cincinnati after the Reds getting swept by the Dodgers. Sorry about that. I know.
Yeah,
I know they put up a rally there late, and they had the bases loaded late, and just couldn't get that one extra hit. But Cincinnati could be a somber place to be on Sunday.
No, I don't think so at all. There's that the feeling in Cincinnati. It's not like New York. Like we didn't blow it. You know what I mean? Like we had a good season. People are happy and proud about what they did, and like
All right. I just don't think. I think they're waiting for Burrow, and I think until Joe Burrow comes back, Cincinnati is untouchable in any with regard to gambling or fantasy or anything. No one on their team can be started, and none of their players can be trusted, and they cannot be trusted to cover a spread, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a shame I have Higgins. All right, let's move on to the final game on Sunday, which is Patriots-Bills. Again, it's a big number. It's 8. I think it came down. Originally it was 10, but big number to lay for Buffalo and
I love New England
division game.
Really? I think it's way too many. I think New England's playing good football. They should have beaten the Steelers. We were there. They turned it over 5 times. Some of those were inexcusable turnovers. I like Drake May. I like him a lot. He's 2-0 against the spread in his career against Josh. The Bills don't blow anybody out. At least they haven't recently when they laid this kind of number. I understand that Josh is very good straight up. When he's a 7-point favorite or more, he's 32-4 straight up. So I'm not saying the Bills can lose this game. I would be surprised if they did, but I do think that that New England could cover this number.
Yeah, you probably love this in a teaser, or this doesn't fit the Wong criteria, but it's a nice to get this under 3.
I wouldn't touch it there. If anything, I would bet the Bills and lay the 2, get under the 3, but I just think that Drake May is going to have New England in this game. I'm not impressed with Buffalo's defense. Saints moved the ball at will against Buffalo, had them actually down in the game. Saints were winning that game at one point, I believe, or they were close to winning. I think that they were down. They were
winning
5.
the game actually in the 4th quarter.
They were,
or late in the 3rd quarter. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Bill's defense is struggling. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I think New England's going to be good enough to cover the 8. They should stay within 1 score of Buffalo in this spot, I would think.
Yeah, I have their defense ranked 21st right now. Let's just see New England's offense just to see if that's a good matchup for them. Their offense, not really. It's ranked 26th. Is that right? No, sorry. Their offense is ranked 13th, but their defense is 28th. I mean, what's a solid play here is the over. It's been going up, but it's 48.
Yeah.
That's 49.5. So it's creeping up there. It's getting, but I think anything, under 51 is actually a solid play for the over here. I mean, Buffalo's going to light these guys up. And I think New England, if they don't turn it over, they'll be scoring also. So I like the 8 also. I'll probably stay away, but I kind of think it's too many also.
Yeah, I would say also New England's getting Gonzalez back, who's their best cover corner. He's coming
Yeah.
back this week. I think that's big for them, even though Buffalo spreads it around. But also, I think it's interesting. Drake May leads the NFL in completion percentage. He's a 74% completion percentage. Not too
Wow.
bad for a second-year quarterback.
Was he throwing the ball downfield, or are those like check downs?
I think both. I mean, I've seen him throw, he threw some deep ones to Hunter Henry for touchdowns against us. I mean, 20-yard passes. I don't know if that's considered down the field. I mean, I don't know if he's throwing bombs like Russell Wilson throws those 50-yard air balls down there. I haven't seen many of those, but he's completing almost 3 out of every 4 passes he throws, he's completing. So I don't know. It's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. I could maybe be talked into New England. Let's check in at the end of the week. Final game of the week is the Kansas City Chiefs on the road on Monday night, going to Jacksonville to play Liam Cohen's Jags, who shocked the world last week and beat the 49ers. They're getting 3.5 at home. Monday night home dog. Can Trevor do it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you don't?
No, I like the way Kansas City is righting the ship here, and I think that they got Worthy back into the offense last week. The defense is playing very, very well. To hold Lamar and Derrick Henry to the numbers that they did, I think is pretty impressive, regardless of the injuries that Baltimore had. And Patrick Mahomes has faced the Jaguars 5 times in his career. He's 5-0 straight up. He's 4-1 against the spread in those games. On the road in the state of Florida, he's 5-1 straight up. The thing with Jacksonville this year, which is, I mentioned it last week, their defense is like forcing turnovers this year. Like,
what's crazy?
I think they forced 4 last week. They have 13 turnovers in 4 games. But the thing is, I don't think
they're the third ranked defense on DVOA. Yeah. If you just look at this season.
Yeah, that's what's
doing it.
They've been super impressive on defense. They're getting the ball away from the other team. I just think it's very hard to turn Kansas City over. Kansas City's a team that doesn't turn the ball over. So I think it's going to be really hard for them to win games relying on that. Their receiver has been non-existent. This kid, Brian Thomas Jr. is supposed to be this star.
I have him on my team.
He hasn't done anything all year. The Chiefs have won 9 straight as outright favorites versus the Jaguars. So I would take Kansas City.
Laying that number on the road, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of lean Jacksonville on this. I think they're I'm a bit of a believer now after the Houston win and the road win on San Francisco last week.
Yeah.
And the Liam Cohen, I was very impressed with him in Tampa. He's creating
huge win.
He's creating culture. It's a defensive culture. I don't know. I think that they may be the right side on Monday night. Like, everyone's so impressed with what the Chiefs did just because they beat Baltimore. But I think they still have some issues. And what this reminds me of? A couple of years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, first year we did the podcast, because I remember I recorded one of your quotes that it was Mahomes' birthday when they went down and played this game, and they blew their doors off. And I think they were a 3-point favorite that week, and they just went down there and destroyed them. But they were a different team, and everybody was healthy, and they had their receivers. But I did have a bit of a flashback to that when I saw this line.
I totally remember that. It was funny, and I still think Mahomes in this spot's going to get it done. I'm not a believer in Trevor, and I know the defense has been good at turning over bad teams. I think San Francisco has been a turnover-prone team. So, and I'm not sure. I can't recount the rest of Jacksonville's schedule, but I believe the Texans are on there and the Titans. So I think maybe that those numbers are a little inflated against bad teams, but I don't think Kansas City is going to turn it over like that. I was super impressed with how they played against Baltimore, and I think they're pretty pissed that they started 0-2, and I think they're going to stack some wins here, Kansas City, for a while.
Okay. All right, my man. Well, that's it for this week's show.
Good yuntif, my good man.
Yeah, you too. Fast, easy for the next 10 minutes till you gorge yourself.
God, I'm so hungry. I can't wait to eat.
The Italian Jew is going to break the fast, ladies and gentlemen.
I love it. You know what I do is I come out, normally I go half with bagels and lox, tomato, onion, capers. Then I'll do a half. I'll come out with either an egg salad with the mushroom or a chicken salad or light veggie tuna. I'll have some blintzes. I'll take a break, and then I'll work my way back. That's my schedule.
So it's like bagel base, huh?
Yes, that's the way Todd does it. Todd and Selena, they do it. They do it every time. The same thing. It's
Not
a
a
bagel.
brisket.
No, last night was the eve of Yom Kippur's. Last night is where we had the steak and the chicken and the matzo ball soup and all that
Okay,
stuff.
you go
and
big on Kol Nidre and then a little softer on the breakfast.
100%. I went huge on Kol Nidre. Huge. Monster. 2.5 bowls of soup, steak, chicken, everything, dessert, 2 glasses of wine, 2 bourbons, a Yankee win. We were cheering, laughing.
Oh my God.
It was great.
You got the Yankee win.
Yeah.
Did you like how I was watching the Yankee game and had my rabbi giving the sermon on the laptop?
Loved it. It's one of my favorite pictures of last night on the text was that. So great.
All right,
what did
buddy.
I say you were?
Enjoy.
What did I say? I thought it was funny. I think I wrote something like the modern Jew, technologically advanced and yet anchored to tradition. That was great.
All right, buddy. Enjoy. Send love to the family. And good luck tonight with your Yankees. And I'm sure we'll talk about these games as we get closer. And
absolutely. Have a great one, buddy. And guys, don't forget about the Wong teasers. They've been hot.
Yeah. And keep your eyes out for the newsletter on Sunday morning or maybe even Saturday night. No, it'll be Sunday morning with our final picks, top 5 after coming off a nice 3-2 week.
Yeah, we're 9-11. Let's get back over 500, buddy.
All right, man. Have a good one. Talk to you later.
See you, pal. Bye-bye.